I have 5 months to create a game that is profitable. And I already spent 1 month of that developing the game as it is right now. That means I have 4 months left to create a game that's profitable. Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. Okay, the first question, what makes a game profitable? It makes more money than it costs to make the game. So in my case, that just means my labor cost, I guess, the time I put into it, working on these games full time. I like to get paid for that like everybody with a normal job. So every hour I put into needs money. Roughly, that means for me, living in the Netherlands, each month, I'd like to make 2,500 euros, preferably more. I'm not saying no to more money, but I need 2,500 a month to cover the costs. This is not my only game. There's always stuff coming in as well. But in very rough terms, 2,500 a month. If I'm working on it for 5 months, that's 12.5K that this game needs to actually make. Now, most likely I'll also get some music done and maybe some marketing artwork. Let's say another 1,000 on top of that. So let's say this game needs to make 13K to break even. That's not even profitable. That's break even. And from there on, it will be profitable. Every cent after that is profit. Doesn't matter if it's just 5 cents. It will be profit. So how am I gonna get there? Good question. First of all, developing a game in 5 months is pretty short. It's usually game developers need a lot more time. AAA games, the numbers work out the same almost, but of course they're talking about millions. They have maybe 100 people working on a game for 2 or 3 years and they get paid more than I get paid. Well, not all of them. Mostly the high regions get paid more, the developers probably equally as much. The math stays the same. There's just much bigger numbers. So it's very hard for games to become profitable. I also want to add 13K is enough for me. That would make this game break even and on the long term profitable. It does depend on where you live in the world. For some that would be a huge amount. For others that wouldn't cover the cost at all. That's just how the world works. And you actually be surprised how many games are released on Steam just this last week that will not be profitable and that are not making that much money. It sounds pretty simple to make that amount of money. It's not. We're living in a time where there's so many games. There are constantly sales and discounts going on. There are games like Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty. Those are still sucking up players' time. So they're focused on those games and they're not playing new games that are released. So it's just very difficult to reach that amount of money for a game. Everybody that tells you otherwise is wrong, is bragging or somehow misguiding you for some weird reason. It's hard. And I know a lot of developers that are not reaching more than maybe 500 or 1,500 euros or dollars on a game. And that's just the harsh reality. So we're up against the odds, but we're gonna try and make it work. So let's dive into this how that I started this whole sentence with, but didn't get around to, because how is actually the hard part here. Okay, so the how is a PC version. That's my answer for that. Mostly my focus will be on a PC version for the simple reason that I'm developing it on a PC. Always writing a PC version first. And Steam is one of the biggest, most interesting platforms right now. And I can also do a little bit more with the PC version if I have to. itch.io, Humble Store, Epic Games, maybe. There's a few others. There's a lot of options there, but Steam is like the big juggernaut. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. That sounds strangely familiar. Now I have a tiny problem doing a game in 5 months. Wishlist. To get a good launch on Steam, you need, let me say this right, you need more wishlists than the average game that's releasing in the same week has as wishlists. Okay. So a lot of people will tell you need 7,000, 10,000 or a lot more wish lists. Of course, the more you can get, the better. But how it works is that if you launch your game, Steam looks at all the games that are releasing during that week, during those days. those with the most wish lists, preferably wish lists that they gained very recently, because they are more valuable than those you gained 3 or 4 years ago. Based on those wishlist numbers, your game gets in the new and noteworthy type list. It's all automated. There's nobody there going through these games and thinking, I should pick this one, I want to pick. It's all automated. So it's really based on these numbers. If you have only 5,000 wishlists, but all the other games launching that week, or maybe there's only one big AAA game that has 1 million wishlists, but nothing else, that still puts you on that list. So the thing here is that you need a good amount of wishlists and the right time to launch that game. And that's the tricky part, because you can't know all the games releasing. You can see a lot of games releasing in a certain month. Some have a date set, so you can see those games on the exact date, but you never know exactly when which games will be launching. So the more wishlist, the better. And this is where you can help out, actually. Go wishlist Space Grunts. I put up a Steam page, check it out, link somewhere, description below or on screen, not sure. And also tell your friends, because we need to get as much wishlist as possible. Now, luckily there's also a Next Fest happening end of March. This could bring in a couple of hundred extra wishlists. Far from the amount I need, but it's a first start. Also, Steam has something new, and that is launching a demo can actually show it in a new release demo list somewhere on Steam, which is extra exposure. And I haven't used that before because I already had demos out of the games I was working on. So this is going to be the first time. I'm wondering what it will do for wishlist and exposure, but we'll find out, I guess, because I'll be using that pretty quickly. Think to gain the most from that exposure, I should have a demo out there early, because I don't want to be in the mix with a huge amount of Next Fest demos all launching at the same time. So I'm trying to be in front of that. That means I should have a demo up and running by the end of January. That gives me 4 weeks time before Next Fest happens. Now, if the demo isn't full or completed enough, I can skip this Next Fest, which means I won't participate until June, which is the next Next Fest. We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. I'm aiming for this first Next Fest, but you don't want to be part of that if your demo is not of a certain quality that it's almost releasable. So I need to make sure it looks like it's almost releasable, or at least has that quality. If not, it's gonna be June. But let's hope we can make it happen in March or end of February. It's the same thing. Now, Steam is a first starting point, and that's a good starting point, but I always advocate on this channel for releasing games multi-platform. So after Steam, after pushing updates and quality of life fixes, changes, tweaks, things based on player feedback, we are also going to launch the game on other platforms. Thinking about Switch first. I have a lot of games there already. Switch, and then the Atari VCS, a very tiny market, but they are really loving the game. So I want to give them as much games as possible while the Atari VCS market is still there. Mobile, iOS, Android, it might be less and less every year. That doesn't mean it's zero. There's still money coming from there, and with a lot of discounts over the years, people are always buying new phones and always upgrading. There's always an audience to be found on mobile. So I am going to release on those platforms as well. So the closer I can get to that break-even point on Steam, the more chance I'm making a profitable game out of all of this. But it all starts with me making sure I can make this game the most cost-effective way possible. So my focus has been mostly on creating key features and functionality and make sure that's all up and running. And wherever I could, I used my experience and previous work to make all these things as quickly as possible. I know how to build inventory systems, and that's what I did. The interface around it, strangely, the interface I have now is actually pretty good, and I'm very happy with it. Usually I create like 10 different versions of an interface around the inventory because I'm never happy with the end result. After many months of development, I'm just bored with it or just not feeling it anymore, and I create something new. This might actually be the first time in many decades that my first inventory, no wait, it's my second. My second inventory screen for this game might be the final one. And if I do change it at some point, remind me of this video. We're gonna have a laugh about it. Remind me. But honestly, I think the current inventory screen is the end. Anyway, been working on all the technical stuff on the back end. Mission structures, it's all there. And I have a mission screen. Not really sure yet if I'm using it like this. Right now you get the first couple of missions, and the missions that are available are based on your skill level or experience level. If you complete missions, other missions open up, new missions get added. I think it's an interesting system, but I don't know yet until I have the full gameplay loop available. If I can actually complete missions, move on to the next and all of that. So that might change, but the underlying technology will remain. Having these missions there, having them generated based on different difficulties, different interesting items you can find, events happening, and objectives. The next thing I'm going to add to the game. When do you actually complete a mission? Right now you can escape a mission at any point in time. I might actually keep that, and then there would be some sort of hub area where you can fix your weapons or increase your health again, and then you can try again on the same mission. But you need to complete an objective in order to have this mission marked off as completed and move on to the next more difficult mission. And however this will evolve and appear in the final game, I don't know yet. It might just be very straightforward, mission 1 up to mission 15, and you won't even notice all these locked mechanics because we won't show it to the player. We'll just show you the next mission. If you fail, you're not going to move to the next. If you achieve the objective, you will move to the next. I can still toy around with that, but technically the data behind it is all up and running, and that's the most important thing, and that's how I've been focusing on everything I've been doing every day. If I started to move away from certain things or focusing on silly like changing some pixel art in the background or changing some wall art, or I stopped myself and said, no, this is not important. We'll eventually do more content. We'll build more enemies, more level layouts, more environments. Right now it's getting the gameplay up and running and the systems up and running, and content is fairly easy once you have all these things up and running. It's just a matter of sit down, draw, design, create, animate, and put it in the game that already works. I'm very strict on myself these days. I guess I found out that I have a very tough boss, and I might not even like the boss person. So the game loop is now almost a full circle. The one missing element is objectives in mission. I have to implement them. I've been working on that. That's my main focus for the next couple of days, or probably just tomorrow. Shouldn't be that much work. Objectives will be things like download data from the ship's computer, turn off or turn on, fix the central computer in the space station or in the spaceship, locate this or that survivor. Very simple, silly mission type things, but you need to have those things done in order to complete the mission. So yeah, I'm just gonna toy around with that and see where we end up. If that all works out, we have a fully completed game loop, and it's then just a matter of building more content, environments, enemies, weapons, items. I want a lot of items that all do various things and can be useful in many different situations, and build out the rest of the game. And if I say it like that, it feels like it should be done in 4 weeks, but sadly it will take many months to get all these things perfectly sorted out and have a perfectly playable game. And then we'll finally know at the end if this is going to be a profitable game or not. My experience is that it's possible. I've did it like this before. I've done it like this, did it like this. I've done it before. And just last year I released Gauntlet of Power, done in 4 to 5 months. Currently at like 11K. We're still going to release the Switch version, mobile version. It's going to be profitable. It's already at break-even point. And like I said, I've done this before with other games. I just have to make sure that I can cost-effectively build these games. And that means make sure that whatever I come up with game design-wise, I know how to build it. And I know how to build it quickly. And then in a couple of months from now, we'll find out if it works. I feel a little bit like I'm rushing the end of this video, and that's because I recorded all of this before, but I've been using new microphones and the battery died. So I have like I think 15 minutes of video with me, but no sound. And that's just no fun. And so I had to redo all of this, and I know I forgot to mention a bunch of things I did in the first recording, and now I forgot about it. And that's frustrating. Hope this still turns out to be an interesting video. Let me know in the comments what you think of all of this. Also, I'm gonna try something new. I have a lot of people viewing and watching these videos every week, not having anything to say or respond in the reactions below. However, in YouTube, reactions help a lot to get this video noticed by many other people. So if you have nothing to add and you do want to help me or let me know you appreciate the videos, orange juice. Put in the comments below orange juice and I will know that you appreciate this video. You watched it up to this point, and you will know that you're helping me make this channel grow, and that allows me to do more interesting videos over time, and hopefully maybe even more videos. It's just a little experiment. You help me, I help you. Just drop the word orange juice if you have nothing else to comment. If you have more interesting things to say, very much appreciated. Let me know as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And then I will see you next week's video. Bye.